Hi, and welcome back to the Good News. I'm Tisa.
And I'm Doc.
And we are excited and delighted to be here with you another week on the Good News. Before we get into your message, I was thinking the other day, because you are a book lover and I'm a reader, we have been purchasing a lot of new books. This has been a great time to reconnect with your love of reading and to get in some new and some great information. And so one of the books we purchased was Tony Evans's book of illustrations. Pastor Tony Evans' book of illustrations. And one of the things he said, it was in his foreword, where said he's been asked, where does he get all his good illustrations? Mm-hmm. And he said, because he sees in illustrations. Yeah. Whenever he's in a situation, no matter where he's at or what he's doing, he's looking for an illustration. Yeah. I am grateful today to be here with our pastor after giving us such a powerful message. I've got my big notes in front of me.
Watch out now.
I'm not just reading from my iPhone, from my cell phone today. I am on my iPad because I needed to see it real big.
Okay, I see.
And because faith may be my superpower, but eyesight is
vision,
not.
But no.
I got vision.
You got vision. Yeah.
So you came from Matthew, the 15th chapter, verses 21 through 28. And we know this as the Canaanite woman coming to Jesus for healing for her daughter. And you talked about the power of her faith. That those of us that got big old slices of bread are not getting as much power as she did coming for the crumbs. So give us your synopsis of the message.
I think when I look back over who I am, faith has always been an important part of my journey. And I'm drawn to faith text messages, not text messages like on the phone, but faith messages that comes out the Bible.
Yeah, in the text.
So I'm drawn to those type of messages because if the Bible tells us without it, it's impossible to please God.
Yes.
That means I want to have it. I don't want to be one to not please God. So I need to learn not only how my faith works, but how others work so man can be strengthened.
Yeah.
So I like putting out Bible text that talks about faith. The reason I did that because faith is just so important to me. I want to remind myself of how important faith is. So I use faith in a lot of the phrasing I do and I say. And now when I look at the text on this Canaanite woman, I say, a lot of us wouldn't do what she did.
Yeah.
I'm talking about being a stranger, asking somebody from another race for something that you really need. Mm-hmm. And not only was it another race, another sex, because she's a female, so she wouldn't ask a male. Mm-hmm. And back then, a lot of women didn't speak to men. Mm-hmm. It was against their custom for men and women to talk to each other at certain times. So.
Yeah. And one of the most powerful things, because you went on and you talked about her first even approaching Jesus, and then second, Jesus' response.
Yeah.
His response at first was to ignore, and his second response was no.
And I don't know if it was thousands or hundreds or maybe 50s, but it said it was a crowd of people. Yeah. And I'm amazed how that one person be the one that had the story about them in the Bible that got Jesus' attention out of all those people. And I said, I wonder, did she have on something special? Or did she say in a certain language? Or he saw that somebody wasn't an Israelite and that's how she stood out. That's not that important to me, but I do think about stuff like that. Yeah. But the fact that she stood out and he first ignored her, and then he talked about it and called her a name, and then it was so funny. I had this issue with disciples because disciples are like hanger-ons to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is it always the hanger-on be the one to say something? It's like you riding in a car. Why is it the guy on the passenger side always want to holler out at the woman? I know, but I'm just giving illustrations on how it's always the ones who attention you're not trying to get be the one always want to respond. Yeah. So the disciples cried. She cried out after us. She didn't care about y'all. Yeah. She didn't want y'all. So, but Jesus, he ignored her. And then it was so funny when he did speak, he spoke to his disciples. Didn't he speak to her directly? And then, he started talking about it, but her faith stayed strong. It endured the cross-examination, and her faith was tried and tested, and it came out like pure fire.
Yeah. And it's such a powerful text for such a time as this, because we are in in the Black community, we are rioting, we are upset, we are speaking out, and most of us are energized for this time and for these protests because of the lives of our children. And that is exactly what was driving this woman to come and seek because she had just heard. She had heard that Jesus could, and she was seeking that he would do it for her and for her children. You pointed out that her petition was, have mercy on me.
And not have mercy on my daughter.
Yes.
That's what I thought was kind of rich also. You know, when you're a parent, you or somebody, you don't have to be a parent, but if somebody who's real close to you needs something real bad, you go out and try to do it for them, you know, because they can't do it for themselves. And that's what she did. And I think my favorite part of the text was the whole dialogue that I saved for last about the crumbs and what crumbs mean to people and everything, and how, you know, he called it and talked about the crumbs falling off the table that the dogs, you know, for the dogs and everything, and how some dogs in America live in air-conditioned houses and, you know, got the finest cut of beef and pork and eating real good, and, you know, some get crumbs. And, you know, I remember I've never had a dog in the house that I did personally, but I remember people talking about how they would feed the dog the vegetables they didn't want to eat or the leftovers they didn't want to eat when the parent turned their head, and the dog would lick the plate real good. Dog eat good, and crumbs are good to some people. But what I didn't talk about also was, that was a restaurant, I'm not sure if it was Long John Silver, Captain D's. When they would give you fish dinners, they would put a lot of crumbs in there, and their crumbs were good. And a lot of us would get mad, give me some more of those crumbs. And we ate the crumbs a lot. And, you know, I'm not sure which one it was, but those crumbs were really good. And, you know, crumbs have the same ingredient in it that the loaf has. And that's something that, you know, I thought about also when I was going through the preparation. I said, you think about a cake. If you drop a piece of cake on the floor, which is a crumb, that crumb, if you eat it, most of us don't eat out the floor, but it's going to be just as good as that cake. So crumbs have saved a lot of people.
And you talked about, your title for this message was that faith is your superpower. And so when you talk about crumbs, it took me back to mustard seeds and these small things. Just a little bit, that's all it takes to keep us energized and to keep us moving forward and to keep us petitioning the Lord. Because like it says earlier in the text, she asked and Jesus did not respond. She asked again, he said no. And then she kept asking, and he talked about her, and then it was her petition, her steadfastness that eventually got her the response that she was looking for. And so often we will hear no, and we will never, you said we'd never go down to that church again, they wouldn't help me pay my light bill, we'll never go to another friend's house because I asked them for $20 and they said no. We have a spirit of give up. And that is not what faith is about.
That's not Christian. Dr. Timber Mafiko once accused me of using colloquialism in a graduate level paper. And I thought about him and that whole thing that he wrote in my paper about not using colloquialism when I thought about part of my sermon preparation. And it's almost like when men are chasing after the woman they desire. And first she ignores us, and then she talk about, you don't even have a good job. Where you work at? And, you know, she dog us out and everything. And then eventually you can't afford me, you know, because I like, you know, go through all the stages. And a man, if you want it bad enough, he gonna keep coming. But I say, Dr. Mafiko, if you ever look at this, I kept the colloquialism out of this sermon.
Okay, a little bit.
A little bit. That illustration of colloquialism. I had never heard that word colloquialism until Dr. Mafiko.
So I want to go back to the have mercy on me, because you pointed out, I've read this text, I've studied this text. I don't believe I've ever preached from it, but this is one of those that is familiar to most of us. So you pointed out that have mercy on me, not have mercy on my daughter. Have mercy on me, and that was really powerful as you pointed it out today.
And you know, that's the thing. A lot of time, we don't know what we really need. So that have mercy on me is letting the Lord know, you know what I need. I need it done. And so, you know, and I talked about how one of the gospel writers talked about the blind man when Jesus passing by, and they shouted out, "Lord, have mercy, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, we need more "have mercy on me" prayers in our society right now. You know, yes, we have to pray for our leaders, and yes, we're supposed to pray for all those society ills. But Lord, have mercy on me, and having mercy on me, maybe I'll be the response to the problem that's going on. Maybe I'll be the one to come up with the solution of all the ills that's happening in our society. So Lord, have mercy on me.
Amen. And so what I have taken away from your message today, in this season that we are in, again, in rioting and protest and uprising that is definitely needed to change the fabric of our country, I am encouraged that even though it seems as if the Lord was not going to respond, and then it seemed as if that answer was going to be no, that when we are steadfast, immovable, that God does respond. And I'm praying that each and every one of us are collectively raising up, that God will heal our land, that God will make it right, that God will turn our nation, our cities, our homes back to Him. And thank you so much for this encouragement that reminds that while we are making small progress, those crumbs are just as powerful as the full loaf of what the Lord has for us. And I believe that because we are working together, because our hearts and minds are on one accord, that we are moving exactly the way that the Lord would have us to move. And I know that God is going to move and do it mightily.
And you know, it's just such an honor to be able to watch God use the unlikeliest situations, the unlikeliest of people, and those who we're waiting on to lead us might not be the one God is preparing for us. And there might be somebody already here that God has in boot camp getting ready to be the one to lead the people to the justice that we desire, to the equality we desire. Prayer.
You know, when you came with the title Superpower, and you talked about being persistent and faith being our superpower, it took me back to the one Superman movie where Lois died and he flew around the world to turn back time.
I remember that.
I said, now that's the kind of power that is needed in our community today.
And I do believe we have it.
Yes, I know we do.
We just hadn't tapped it.
That's
and you
it.
know, that's the thing. If you ever look at all the cartoons or anything where people had power, something had to tap it to activate it.
Yes.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. You know, talked about him last week.
Yeah,
So.
we are definitely sparked. So I want to thank each of you for joining us here today. We want to encourage you to keep your comments coming, like, subscribe, and share the videos with your friends, because we want to be able to be a source for good news, where you can come get encouraged and empowered to go through your day.
Oh, yeah.
I hope that you will follow me on Instagram at Tisa J is for Joy. And I hope that you're tuning in to the podcast here on YouTube, Choose Joy with Tisa.
And you can follow me at Dr. Darrell L. Jones. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
You a social media mogul.
But I try to be everywhere the people are and everywhere they're not.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Know that we are praying with you and for you.